This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to This Song Is Yours. We're a music podcast that chats to artists, musicians and creatives on their songwriting craft and upcoming projects. I'm your host Simon Fink and welcome to episode 234. Thank you for listening to our podcast. It is always appreciated. If you haven't already, please go and subscribe to the pod wherever you listen to your pods, whatever application you're using. And if you can, give us a review or a rating. It's silly, but those little things do help in terms of getting the name of the pod out there and exposure and everything. So we do appreciate it if you're able to do so. I will quickly mention as well, last night we launched our brand new YouTube series. It is called This Song Is Yours for the Record. And basically sees us taking artists into record stores around Australia and getting them to show us their essentials. We kicked things off last night at Happy Valley Records with US singer-songwriter Christian Lee Hudson. The link is in our bio along with all our other socials. That is all the business out of the way. Let's get to today's guest. Today's guest is Bumpy. The soul and R&B songwriter and proud Noongar woman had an incredible 2022. Absolutely winning over everyone at Big Sound with her set. And she also took home the Archie Roach Foundation Award for Emerging Talent at the Music Victoria Awards. In late January of this year, she released her brand new EP, Morning Sun. It is a beautiful collection of neo-soul tracks. We've left details in the show notes where you can find the EP or listen to it or stream it wherever you get your music from. You'll be able to find it. We were lucky enough to speak to the NAM Melbourne-based artist last week, where we chatted about a range of things. We discussed this new EP and what it means to have her own solo songs out. Bumpy is also part of a Melbourne neo-soul outfit called Squid Nebula, and we discuss how she juggles the songwriting between the two bands, the two projects, if you will. We're talking about music producing. We talk about touring behind the EP and what that kind of takes. And Bumpy was also very kind enough to make us a small playlist. And so we chat about a few of those tracks, including songs from Angel Olsen, Emma Donovan and Adele. All of the details of where you can listen to Bumpy or find her on tour are going to be in the show notes. So please check them out once you've finished listening to this episode. We do want to give a special shout out to Liz from Play It Again Sam, who helped out with today's episode. Let's get on with it. Here is our chat with Bumpy. Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, Bumpy. Hello.
Hello, thanks for having me.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem.
We had a very little discussion before we started recording that for one reason or another, you and I and your lovely team behind you have been trying to get us to chat for a little while now. I'm very glad that we can. And I'm almost a little bit glad that it was delayed for a period of time, only because we've now got this beautiful EP to talk about. I think maybe at one point we didn't, so I'm really glad that we're actually able to discuss the Morning Sun EP, which is currently out now. Firstly, congratulations on this EP.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a crazy time in the past couple of weeks, and the whole process with releasing it as well. So I'm happy to have a yarn and be on the other side of kind of that whirlwind.
Of course. How have you found the reception so far? Has it been received well? Are you getting lots of compliments and lots of positive feedback on it?
Yeah, it's been so beautiful. I think especially, when someone messages on social media or something especially and tells you their personal experience of listening to the album or listening to a certain track, it's been so special just to not only kind of let go of those personal stories myself, but also then receive other personal stories. It's just been this beautiful relationship and connection.
Yeah, of course. I loved the sonics of this record, and I kind of want to get into them a little bit later, but I guess in relation to what you just mentioned then, in terms of you sharing your experiences and people being able to share them back, how do you find allowing these songs to be put out into public? Because I know that there is a number of things that can be discussed within songwriting and within your own artistry. And especially for yourself, I know that you've got a second band as well, which I want to get into a little bit later. But I guess for this project, how do you work out what it is that you want to say and what you want to get across with these songs?
Sure, it's a great question. I guess this project really stemmed from just wanting to have my own space with my own thoughts and my own stories, and just kind of come into a light where I can explore that voice and be the one that's making all the decisions at the end of the day, and really understanding my thought process even further by being able to explore it musically. So yeah, I guess it really, I'm writing about my experiences or just the way that I'm perceiving things or, what I'm going through.
The band that I mentioned before is called Squid Nebula, who is a fantastic neo-soul band from Melbourne or Nam. When you made that decision to have this space for yourself and allow, I guess, room for what you want to say, how did that... I can imagine for some people it might be a difficult and somewhat brave decision to make, because it's not something that people would kind of do every time. How did you come across that decision and I guess how did you action it as well?
Sure. I've been working with Squid Nebula for a while now. I think maybe it could be coming up to 8 years, and they were the first band that I really joined when I moved to Nome, and it's a very collaborative project. So we've all, got the reins on all the decisions and all the writing. We write together, and it's been something that has really helped me understand how I want to move through the live spaces as well as the recording spaces. And I've done a lot of sessional work and used to play keys with brother Neil Morris in the First Nations hip-hop collective called Dreaming Now. And I think through all of these kind of collaborations and, works with different people, it really helped me realize that I wanted my own voice and my own space, that I had learned from all of these people, and then figured out, okay, now I want to navigate it kind of on my own and really come into my own light while also continue to work with these other artists as well.
100%. Do you find yourself, and I imagine that you would, especially in something like Squid Nebula, but do you find yourself to be do you enjoy collaboration, I guess, is probably the best way to word it?
Yeah, definitely. It's been so fun. We've been working on an album as well, actually, at the moment, and it's fully been completely, 5 chefs in the kitchen, which has been an amazing process to understand, how to communicate what you're thinking of as well, and how you all perceive music differently and how you express it differently. And I think that's just been a huge eye-opener into how to work with different people in musical environments. It's been really insightful.
Is there, when you are songwriting, is there a clear indication that something is for the Bumpy project or for Squid Nebula, or is it something that might reveal itself as you kind of go along?
Yeah, that's a great question. I often dance around that line a little bit. I think, it does kind of sometimes it's an intentional thing to go, I'm now in this, wearing this hat under this project, or if it's just free writing, it will kind of reveal itself to go, no, this kind of tends more to this project or whatever. But yeah, it's still something that I'm kind of struggling with at the moment, being like, which project should this sit in? And once it kind of takes to the different bands, it will, turn into something completely different as well.
Of course, I can appreciate that, and I feel like there's almost like a flexibility to some songs as well that allow you to possibly see whether they fit both or either project or whatever it may be. I would love to know, I guess, your introduction to songwriting back, however little or old or whatever age that you were when you came across songwriting. When was it that you first kind of came across that as an interest or a passion of yours?
Yeah, that's a great question. I guess probably, I've always played songs or liked to do covers growing up, and then maybe it was kind of early teens that I started listening to songs that just had, really simple guitar motifs or piano motifs, and then just had a whole layer of songwriting over them, and that really was like, oh, maybe I could do something like this, and I have something to say. And when I really started to just sit and have focused music time in a space that wasn't about learning something else, it was just more of like a therapeutic moment. It kind of started to really flow and be like, oh, I can actually understand my thoughts in a different light when I sit with them musically rather than just sit with them in my thought bubble. So I guess when I really started to understand that music provides so much more than just an expression, I really wanted to further explore songwriting.
I very much appreciate that method and kind of approach, because I think sometimes, and especially around that age, it can be a very good outlet for teenagers and young adults and even adults to work out like a form of therapy or what they're wanting to say and being able to vocalize that.
Definitely, and if you've got so many views and things that are running through your head that you don't understand at that age, it's like music's such a nice place. You don't have to actually talk about it, you can just say what you want.
Exactly. I feel like it's it almost helps. It's like a filter, if you will. You can almost work out what is important and maybe what just needed to be thrown out into the universe to be forgotten.
Totally.
I was wondering if you would indulge me slightly and talk a little bit about one of my favourite tracks on the EP, which was Waiting Game. I thought sonically this was a beautiful track. And I was wondering if you would just be able to share, I guess, the catalyst of the song or where it came from, or a little bit of, the story of it.
Sure, thank you. This one, I guess, it's written about the idea of that in-between stage of not knowing whether, you keep trying to release the desired outcome and keep waiting and waiting, or you have to just let it go and move on and be okay with moving on and maybe not reaching that point. So it's about that really in-between stage, and sonically I guess we really wanted to make it feel like you were holding on and kind of sitting in this world and waiting for something to happen, and then by the end of that end chorus, you had reached this decision, and it kind of, you've arrived somewhere. So I guess, I had a really fun time sitting with my bassist, Noah Hutchinson, who contributed some of the production work for this one, and just talking about, like, how can we really emphasize this feeling that we're sitting in this space for a while, but still make it, like, have little interesting moments so someone's not like, I've been listening to the same thing for 2 minutes, So it was a really fun one to kind of step inside of, and also just arrange beyond the live work that we do.
100%. I very much respect a musician or a producer or both who have that kind of thought of intention behind the sonics. I feel like sometimes it can be not lost, but it's a little bit like we've got 4 great chords in the background, that's enough. Whereas the fact that you thought about, that you're wanting to keep the listener engaged and almost have the sonics themselves be like a story along with the lyrics. I know you do some production yourself. Do you have a preference on what you kind of do, or what kind of...
This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
I guess, yeah, is there a time where production seems more interesting to you than songwriting?
I guess production's definitely a new kind of world and light that I am still discovering. I've always kind of worked in a live space more so than anything digital or, in a workspace. So it's definitely something that, I guess coming from that live world, it's like, what am I trying to say and how am I trying to say it and how can I replicate that in, the instrumentation and the arrangement. So I guess that's just my approach, that I'm looking at it just, trying to take these live tools that I've been working in and applying it to production. So it's definitely something that I'm so intrigued by now that I am kind of just seeing what it looks like on the other side and working with friends and working closely with the mixing engineer and understanding what they're using and how they've used to then achieve this certain emotion or feeling or mood. And I think ultimately that's what really intrigues me, is like, just understanding what a little bit of distortion or, a little bit of like EQing can really change it all and highly affect how you're feeling or even just what that sound is communicating. I think it's just like, it's so interesting.
Of course. Do you, I guess it's almost like a full circle kind of thing. Do you also then find it interesting then having to reapply that to when you have to bring these sounds to a live setting?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is such a circle, I guess, because they all start just writing them myself on piano or guitar, and then, usually it would be taken to the band. And I love performing with these musicians, and, I think creative control on their behalf is so important to me as well, to go, here's what it's about, here's what I'm trying to capture. Now, do your thing over it. And, their interpretation of the music and how it speaks to them personally is also really important to, I think, how it's all constructed. So then to take, their interpretations and then we put them on live, it's like this big combination of something that we're trying to achieve. And I think just, the whole process of that circle, I think is really amazing, and I uncover more with each release or each recording process.
100%. I guess with the EP out now, I know that there's 1 or 2 dates currently in the books, or that is known to the public. Can we expect to see you touring this EP around the country at any point this year?
That is a good question. We definitely have a launch show in the works. It's just been a tricky roundabout thing now that, we're all out and about playing live and trying to squish it all in. But we are definitely playing a few shows around the place in the next coming months that I'm really looking forward to just, getting outside of the release time and now just bringing it live.
Of course. Well, I know that currently, known to the public, you are playing at, I believe it's Port Fairy Folk Festival at the start of March, which we'll make sure the details are in the show notes for people to purchase tickets to. Is there anything that fans can kind of expect from this show? Because I imagine it is a little bit different as well. It's a festival set, it's out in the open.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I will be playing multiple times over the weekend. I'll be a part of the Uncle Archie tribute show as well in the earlier days of the festival, and then on the Saturday we're actually presenting, we'll be performing as a trio, so just myself and two of the backing vocalists, and then on the Sunday the full band will be coming. So I'm excited to just present kind of in all different ways over the weekend and have a different set for each show. I hope to see some people and connect and play these songs live.
That's very exciting, and even more exciting that obviously people have many different opportunities to see you while at the festival. So I wasn't even aware that there was a few different sets, so that's even more exciting.
Yeah, I'm very keen for that one.
I know, obviously, Uncle Archie, last year you were awarded the Archie Roach Foundation Award for Emerging Talent at the Victoria Music Awards. I have to make sure. The Music Victoria Awards. What was that experience like, kind of winning that? Because I imagine that would have been... I can't even imagine. I will ask you, what was that experience like?
Yeah, so honoured it feels really huge and important to me. I guess that whole moment was swept up in a really emotional state. We had, the memorial, showing images and listening to his music, and Uncle Kutcher then sang one of Uncle Archie's songs, and then, the award was presented directly after that moment. So you can imagine how overwhelming it really was when it happened. And I think everyone could feel the spirit and the energy in the room, and I think I was just, quite dazed for the rest of the night. I feel like, what's going on, and did that happen? And I'm emotional, and but reflecting on it since then, it just I feel so honoured and so special. It's such a powerful award, and the work that the foundation does in his legacy is really amazing. So I just I feel really excited to do this tribute show and continue to be a part of honouring his work.
That is beautiful. And I can imagine after going through all of that and then being awarded any form of award probably is a bit of a roller coaster of emotions. So there's a lot of respect for kind of having to go through that all within one day.
Thank you. It was really special too, because Uncle Kutcher I've actually known for years, and he found me when I was still living in the country, and he was touring, and he got me up on stage when I was a teenager, and then a couple of years later I was studying, and he was actually one of the guest speakers, and he was like, "What are you doing here?" And turned into something else. And then the first Bumpy show, he actually got me on to support him, and we just did Kutcher's karaoke series on NITV, and he's appeared at all these really special moments of my life. So it was really special to share that with him.
That's awesome. I love that. That was kind of, I'd say, one of a few big things that did happen last year as well, because I know you also performed at Vivid, and I believe you played at Big Sound. I know there's a few other key moments for yourself last year. Obviously, we've got the EP now. Can we expect, without getting yourself or anyone from the publicity team into too much trouble, I guess, can we expect another big year from you for 2023?
Look, I hope so. It's one of those, it's so funny, just, only knowing what's coming up in the next couple of months, and things just pop up out of nowhere, and somebody's just, put this email into your account, and it blows your mind every time. So I'm just, honestly, just really love to play live, and hope to get back in the studio this year, and just have some fun with it, and just see where it takes me, to be honest. I'm going to keep working on it, and just hope that can meet more people and see some more amazing places, and play some more live shows.
Of course. Well, from a fan or from a consumer's perspective, I can tell you that there are a lot of people very excited to see you out on the road or see you live this year. So fingers crossed there are more opportunities as well. You very kindly sent through a playlist for us, some of the tracks you're currently listening to. I was wondering if it was okay if we just talked about one or two of them?
Yeah, sure. I would love that.
Beautiful. One of the tracks that was sent through was Adele, Daydreamer.
That's it.
I was wondering whether you could tell us why this song made it to your playlist, or why it's important to you.
Sure. It was really beautiful to kind of reflect on songs that I've either been listening to a lot or influential in my journey. And as we were talking about before, about the songwriting process, this was one of those tracks that I heard, when I was a teenager, and it's just got that really strong motif, that guitar cell that you just kind of move around the guitar. And it was one of those moments that I learnt the cover, and I was singing it out, and it just made me be like, whoa, I could just write a cell and try and write something over it myself. And this album was actually just one that I really sat with and was like, well, maybe I want to do something like this and be a singer-songwriter, and just heard it in the light of just voice and an instrument. And it just really, really blew my mind into being like, I think I want to go down this path too.
That's very cool. I love that. Another one of the tracks you've got on here is Angel Olsen with Lark, who I believe Angel Olsen is in the country very soon as well. Actually, maybe around the same time as the folk festival.
Yeah, I believe she's at the Golden Plains on the same weekend, which is such a bummer. But excited to catch one of her shows while she's here.
Of course. What does this song mean to you? The track Lark.
Yeah, I think this album that it's from, All Mirrors, was recommended to me, and they said, just take some time and sit with it and have some focused listening. And so I did that, said, I had a cup of tea and just sat in front of the speakers, and this is the opening track from the album. And I still recall listening to it for the first time and just being so blown away by how much it drew me in and how epic it is as an album opener. The instrumentation and the strings and the arrangement and the build of it is just quite amazing. It really draws you in, and from that point I've always thought about this, about wanting to think about my arrangement and the instrumentation to achieve this drama while circling around something so vulnerable. And this track was really huge in the journey of understanding this album further.
Of course. I think, again, fantastic album by Angel Olsen, and I think that another act to catch in festival season this year. The last one I was hoping to talk about, Bumpy, was Emma Donovan and the Putbacks, one of the greatest Australian talents to come out in the last number of years. You've put the track Don't Give Up On Me. What is it about this song that you love or is special to you?
Yeah, I adore this song and this album, and Emma and the Putbacks. I think, when I moved up to Naarm and I caught Emma for the first time performing, it was so powerful to see a First Nations woman doing exactly the thing that I moved up here to do. And I was so, she's so powerful, and you can feel her spirit every time she sings, and she holds spaces for everyone. It's really amazing to kind of see each other and move around on the same bills now, and I just adore the way that the putbacks support Emma and vice versa, and I feel like this track has just been one that I've had on repeat ever since it came out.
It is a fantastic track and a fantastic record by Emma and the Putbacks. Bumpy, thank you very much for coming onto the podcast today. I do appreciate it. Congratulations on the Morning Sun EP, which is out now. But yes, thank you once again for having a chat with us.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Never sleep hot again with Bowl and Branch's best-selling naturally cooling sheets. They feel super crisp and cool to the touch and are expertly designed for enhanced breathability so you don't overheat at night. Start getting your best night's sleep this summer with cooling sheets made with the highest quality materials. Try Bowl and Branch with a 30-night worry-free guarantee. Plus, get 15% off and free shipping on your first set of sheets at bowlandbranch.com with code BUTTERY. Exclusions apply. See site for details.